Hi guys, welcome to the session on Coffee with Prabh. And today we have a special guest, Mr. Mayank, who currently led the security strategy architecture engineering at one of the e-commerce. Along with that, in past, he served as a senior manager for Big Four and contributed to the global cybersecurity program at Data Security Council of India. He also co-founded in past SecLogic, where he built cloud security products and innovation strategies. With a charismatic leadership in security consulting, product innovations, and enterprise risk management, Mr. Meng brings a rare perspective of bridging a business strategy with cutting-edge security practices. Uh, Recently, what happened? I was, going through the LinkedIn blogs and all that, and one thing which is, fascinate me is basically Mr. Mayank is posting every alternate day a new innovations of interfaces for the security solutions, the way you can take the security next level. He building interface, he building dashboard, which basically fascinated me to reach out to him and requested him to do one podcast on AI security architecture, how he using AI and how he adopting the AI and how he ensuring the AI can be run in a secure manner. Mr. Meng, thank you so much for taking out the time for this podcast.
Yeah, thank you, Prabh. And Prabh, in reciprocity, I think I have been following you for a very long time.
Thank you, Meng.
In terms of training, I think you are one of the stalwarts in the industry,
Thank you so
right?
much.
I have read so many positive comments about you. It's a small community. We follow each other on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
And I'm only active on LinkedIn. I am nowhere on social media. Being a cybersecurity guy, I am absent completely.
we need to limit our functionality to reduce attack surface also.
Correct. Right. And I respect your contribution for this subject. I
Thank
think
you.
it goes a long way and will go a long way going forward also. Just to set the context, Prab, I have only worked in cyber for 17 years.
Oh my God. Okay, good.
Right. So luckily, it's a luck. It's a pure luck that as a fresher, I started as a security operations center analyst,
Wow.
right? Not as a software developer or a database guy or a server guy.
Yeah.
Put into a SOC, and this is where the journey started. I liked the subject at the time. The automation and AI has not involved, and this is 17 years back.
Uh,
Okay, right? So I continued my journey, and then, as you have already clearly iterated, that I took up different roles in different organizations for
yes.
different flavors. I did my own firm also, built a product. I've headed security engineering also. I delivered projects for global clients.
Mm,
That has helped me understanding the problems first. Okay,
mm,
right? And when I say if you understand the problem first, you should understand the problems in detail. Okay, it should
true.
not be high level principle understanding of problem.
Okay.
Okay, you should understand the architecture layer wise, whether it
Mm,
is AI or non AI.
yeah, true.
Okay, then you should look at different layers and treat them differently first. That's my approach. Okay, and then you look at a unified framework of how do you combine different layered security approach for AI or a non AI architectural concepts and come at a solution which
Mm,
is a holistic solution. But so far in 17 years of history, I have not found a holistic solution to solve every security problem.
true.
Okay. And
Security is also itself is a continuous process.
yeah, correct. And in traditional IT
Mm,
or IT security, there is sprawling of n number of capabilities when it comes to solving problems.
true.
And I don't want to guarantee, but I see similar pattern is going to get followed in AI architectures also when it comes to securing them.
Mm,
So simply putting for audience, if you want to secure data, there'll be 10 solutions.
mm,
Okay. If I want to secure pipeline, there'll be 5 solutions. Right. But my request would be that first you understand the problem and don't apply the same mistakes which we did in IT security traditionally to AI architectures.
mm,
Okay, that can I fit a solution to solve my problem? Maybe a process can solve a problem. Okay, right? We are always looking. So globally, CISOs and their hands are tied also. Okay, I've worked with global CISOs across my experience. Their hands are tied also to the extent that they have to plug in solution to solve problems as a checklist. Okay, but understanding problem solving via engineering is a different method altogether. Okay, and today my base of sharing knowledge would be that yes, you can fit a solution, or you can build a solution which can be a solution to your problem. Okay, but have you understood the problem?
Hmm.
Right, rather than retrofitting a solution,
Jump to the conclusion.
which we did in IT security world.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So for audience purpose, I have prepared a compendium of the questions that we were thinking of discussing. Okay, right. And there are very simple examples to understand the takeaways from it.
Sure.
Okay, so I think I can present that.
Definitely. Let me give you the co-host access.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I can see you also. Thank you. Yeah, I think I really loved the first question. Okay, and I'm a strong believer of foundation first. If your foundation is weak, in even in elementary school, so you will struggle in eighth and ninth and graduation and post graduation also.
True.
That's an analogy I use and I practice also. Okay,
True.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. My point is on your first question, and which I really loved it, is that can we explain in simple terms what is the difference between a traditional IT security architecture and AI security architecture?
Hmm.
Okay, right. So what I've done is I prepared small snippets of slides which gives in bullet points the differences for your questions. Okay, and then we'll take a deep dive into each and every point. Right. So if you look at and I need not explain to the security world when they will watch this discussion,
Hmm.
okay, of us. The traditional IT security architecture, you're securing your network, which is perimeter, securing your servers, endpoints, you're securing your data, and you're securing your identities per se. Okay. But in your AI security architecture, please do not forget the above 4 points. Okay. Which is my first bullet point, that build on IT security foundation. If your traditional IT security architecture is weak, your AI security architecture will also break. Okay. When I say break, it is hackable. I'm not saying that it will get hacked. It is hackable. It is prone and vulnerable.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
But what extra is there? Now, what extra is there? We all know we are being bombarded overall with models being dropped every now and then.
True.
Okay. GPT-3, GPT-4,
4, GPT-5,
5,
Claude,
DeepSeek
Claude,
2.com.
Claude.
It is never ending. Okay. Right. We are also bombarded with data sets.
Hmm.
Right. So the problem here now is of the principle of data security and model security, which is different from IT security architecture. At that time, okay, data was the crown jewel, but here the data is the highest crown jewel. And the new thing which is introduced is model security, which we have never done.
True.
Okay. And now in model security also, without getting, though the details are down below, companies have to protect pre-training data and post-training data and
True.
production data also.
That's part of data governance. Yeah.
Correct? Right? Right? And Now we are also exposed to new AI threats,
Yeah, OWASP and all that.
right? So new AI threats which are introduced, which were non-existent, okay, right, are a very some situation for CISO teams across globally.
True.
Okay, right. For example, I have a LLM model to which user is interacting, and user can be an adversary also. Okay, when a user is an adversary, he will or she will try to trick the model to reveal its backend architecture.
Hmm.
That is prompt injection, right?
True.
And if and I have an analogy for it. The analogy is actually this is nothing but you're doing smart fishing in AI world
True.
with the help of user. Correct?
True.
Right? You craft your prompts now in such a way that you have intelligent prompts and the models will reveal the required infra details or the architectural details or maybe the data, right? Right? So this is one example of new threat which is specific to AI security architecture,
Okay.
right? So second example I like to take here is that your models can be poisoned.
Hmm.
So for simple user to understand is that when I used to secure data in an IT security, I was not worried about my AI giving output because at that time there were no LLMs, so my machine learning was working behind the scenes.
Hmm.
Now now that the machine learning models have evolved to LLM models or to agentic models, which is being used by B2B users and B2C
See
users,
user, yeah.
right? Now, if a data in the training data environment, okay, or data in the pre-production environment with lateral movement, with exploiting the weakness of traditional IT security architecture is poisoned. When I say poisoned, I introduce data in it which is malicious, okay, right, or which is not supposed to be in the data. It will give an output which is not required for the user or for the business,
True.
right? So again, poisoning is a new kind of attack which is introduced in AI security architecture. Okay, right? I'll take
But
a
but
pause.
but but by Meng, sorry to interrupt here. Like, when we talking about, we have a lot of enterprise security architecture, like
Hmm,
SAPSA. When it comes to enterprise architecture, we have a TOGAF.
hmm.
So if I talk about AI security architecture, do we have any reference framework? Do we have any kind of a mature frameworks in the market which talk about AI security architecture?
Yes. Put this question later, so I'll answer this question later.
Sure.
Okay, right? Shall we move to second
Yeah,
question?
sure, sure.
Right.
Can you
I think
zoom in a little bit? I cannot see data control for AI training.
is
Yeah,
it okay?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think in the first question I emphasized on though data was the crown jewel, but
Hmm.
in AI model, with data will become the highest crown jewel.
True.
Okay. Um, Organizations are exploring controls to secure data in AI models.
Hmm.
So it is very difficult to put top three controls. Okay.
Okay.
How I have put top three controls is few are emanating from earlier traditional IT security principles,
Hmm.
and few are very new to what's happening right now, which is was actually to be emphasized on when we were building the machine learning world or deep learning world also.
Hmm.
But we didn't do that. Okay, right? So the fundamentals here are, I think I need not explain this to security audience,
Yes.
right? That we have to put RBAC and encryption controls.
Hmm.
Okay. The strong statement here is this: even for internal employees,
Hmm.
without clearance, they cannot have access to the most sensitive data business carries.
Hmm.
Here I've taken an example of healthcare data, maybe used to train AI LLM for healthcare.
True.
Okay, right? So that's a very solid example that I have mentioned here.
But
Okay.
one thing is that when it comes to, okay, encryption we can use in data at rest and data in transit. But when we're using AI for some kind of an output and all that, we also need to talk about anonymizations, pseudonymizations, or
Correct.
tokenizations, or we have now new solution on the Google Cloud called as a confidential computing, where which offer the homomorphic encryption. So how do you see that security here?
See, it's a choice.
Hmm.
All these concepts have cost associated with it,
Hmm.
and all these concepts have efficiency associated with it.
How?
For example, I'll take an example.
Hmm.
If you actually apply encryption, if I go to my engineering team,
Hmm.
they will say that my data analytics has become slow. Okay, because I am actually doing analytics on encrypted data. But there is an alternate for it now, which is not so proven, and it's on record also, homomorphic encryption. That
Yeah.
right, that you can do analytics on encrypted data with some efficiency. Okay, with less compute power.
True.
Efficiency is less compute power in simple
True.
language.
True.
In terms of reducing again the cost and efficiency, it depends completely on the business use case and the risk appetite an organization has. They will either go for hashing or tokenization,
True.
right? So this is how they differ, and the choices will be directly proportional to how much risk I can consume, or how much risk can be a residual risk for me, and the efficiency of data analytics I want to perform. How much I want to compromise with it. Okay,
Agree.
right? Okay, right. So far, again, in my readings, in my practice, also, we have not narrowed down that for this example we will encrypt, for this example we will tokenize, for this example we will hash, or for this example we'll use homomorphic encryption.
Hmm.
Okay, or pseudo-anonymize, right? I think the most popular so far being used is pseudo-anonymization.
Yeah. True.
And since you refer to frameworks also, it's been talked about in EU AI Act also.
True.
Okay, right. So if I have to be very precise, right now there are more experimentations with pseudo anonymization, that I don't use that data which actually belongs, right?
Agree.
Or I use partial data from the data to train my engines,
Hmm.
right? So that is the answer for your question.
Okay.
Okay, right. Next thing which is very important, and I want to touch upon this, is that nobody is looking at validation and cleaning. And in very simple terms, you need to find problems which are errors and malicious planted inputs in your data. Okay. For example, and I'm a big fan of Andrew NG.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
right. He has also built, when he was a student, he had tried building a spam filter engine
Hmm.
using ML, not AI. ML is a subset of AI. Okay, right? Or using deep learning per se, right? So, are you looking for keywords like ham versus spam with labels in your training set?
Hmm.
Maybe ham like words can poison your data set, and your output of spam filter will not be true.
Really? Oh, was not
Yeah.
aware about that. Okay.
Okay. Right. So basically, here some simple things you have to do. You have to remove duplicate records, cleaning of data. That is cleaning of data.
True.
Okay. From a statistic viewpoint, and few statisticians will understand that we don't need outliers. That is also cleaning of data. The
Hmm.
data which is completely away from the data set, we don't need that to train. Okay. And we do not need malicious data. And I've already given the example of malicious data.
True.
Okay. Very important from security aspect. This is, I will call it as a cornerstone for AI security to start with.
Hmm.
Okay. Again, now this is a very important and interesting point, and I love it. if I go back to application security world, I'm using an analogy here. Okay.
Hmm.
Traditional IT security, application security is managed by CI/CD tools. Okay. And in CI/CD tools, we have, I don't know, n number of vendors who can secure your code before it goes in production and find out vulnerabilities. Right?
Okay.
Right? Similarly, why can't we apply that principle of process? Forget about the tools. Okay. Why can't we apply the principle of process of securing the pipelines?
What is the role of pipeline here? Because we have seen a lot of buzzword around slacks, or when you're talking data lineage and all that, we focus on this pipelines and everything. I know it's CI/CD pipeline, but how it is integrated here? What is the role of pipeline in the AI?
So you asked a very valid question. Yeah. You asked a very valid question that what are pipelines? Okay. In traditional IT security architecture, if you remember, there is still a concept of segmentation.
Yeah.
Okay. So in ML world, we maintain different pipelines, or you can call as tunnels,
Hmm.
to equate it with the traditional IT security architecture, that I have this pipeline for this set of data,
True.
which can be X, let's say, which could be health record. Second pipeline could be its family history, okay, which is a different data set altogether, because for doctors to predict or to treat also, they may need different pipelines or different data sets, and these are tunnels per se. The
Okay.
word used here is pipeline. It's just that. Okay. Right. Now, what I was speaking of, that similar to application security world, where you apply a CI/CD checks on before you deploy any application in the pre-prod environment or prod environment,
Hmm.
why don't you apply a similar principle process in which the pipeline is also checked for problems?
Okay.
Okay, right? Which means your training data, as I was speaking earlier, is not contaminated, does not have duplicate records, and does not have malicious data set. So
True.
there is no change in training data. Okay, right? And also, because now we are facing, not facing, we are introduced to models. Okay, why don't you check your model codes? And now these CI/CD security check capabilities are also introducing code which are checking LLM codes also, or agentic codes also,
Hmm.
right? So, and also, this I will speak of later also in quite detail, that audit log has to be maintained for every pipeline, who created it, who is maintaining it, and who is changing it.
Okay.
Okay. Or even the approval process has to be maintained in overall audit log. Okay.
True.
Right. And you need to have versions of pipelines also. For example, if your one pipeline is compromised, which is your N version, okay, do you have a backup to go to N minus 1 version, so that you can rectify the N version first, and at least run your system on N minus 1 version? Okay.
Okay.
Right. So that is again, here, if I speak of something which is very different, is uh, looking at the changes in training data sets, and looking at the code of the models. Okay.
Hmm.
Right. I'm calling out the differences from traditional IT security architecture, but
Okay.
I compared it with application security CI/CD security checks and capabilities which exist in market, and CISOs and teams are aware of it, and they're using it for years. Okay.
Okay.
Right. And those vendors only are introducing checks to check data manipulation and changes in model code also in their capabilities, because it's the need of the hour. They are also.
Understood.
Okay. Any
Thank
question?
you. No, thank you so much. Because I have seen a lot of words around this area, so I thought I will ask you about this. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
Thank you.
The next question is on, you talked about, I think I have spoken on this already, that
Hmm.
model balancing and adversarial attacks. Okay,
Hmm.
right. I'll actually I'll actually talk about yeah. I'll talk about principles of how to train your models against attacks. Okay, right? Then I've already talked about two attacks, if you remember.
Yeah.
Right, one was prompt injection, which I equated with phishing of the
Yeah.
traditional IT security world,
Yeah.
and second was poisoning of data. Okay, first principle I want to talk about is, rather than talking about the attacks, okay, is you why don't you harden your models with data which is basis on attack? And you will not believe, actually, when I was actually following, I have been following this field for many years now.
Hmm.
Okay, and I'm trying to gain knowledge on it. We have done this in NLP world also, we have done this in ML world also,
Yeah.
and we have done this in the world of where we are creating images also. You introduce vulnerable images
Hmm.
that with adversarial data, your model is able to call out this is malicious, or it is a noise, or it is an outlier.
Okay.
Okay, and machine learning world, SMEs will understand that classifiers, for example, if I have to very explain classifiers are model like, in a data set, one is mango, one is banana. How can I tell which element from the whole data set of millions of mangoes and bananas, which is mango and banana? Okay,
Understood.
right, with as if the images of mangoes and bananas, right? So I'll start introducing images of watermelon,
Hmm.
which is a noise. Okay, so the system will understand, and I don't want to go into the maths, and there are proven formulas and algos that which are based on adversarial training, that this is not banana or mango, this is watermelon.
So you're manipulating. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
are trying to manipulate your system, and the system is trying to understand you are trying to manipulate me, right?
Hmm.
Because you're hardening your model. Okay.
Understood.
Now let us go back. And we all know we do attack simulations.
Hmm.
Why do we do attack simulations? To train our model,
Train our model, train our infrastructure, train our
train our
systems, and
infrastructure,
all. Yeah.
or to know where to harden the models of IT
True.
security. The same principle applies here,
Hmm.
right? The next principle I want to talk about is that anything you input in the system, which is your training data, okay, and any output you get out of it, you have to do a sanity check,
True.
right? People would be reading a lot of AI papers these days, and they'll be
Yeah.
getting confused.
Yeah.
Okay, right? Especially there's a concept called in every AI paper. There's a concept called confidence score. Okay,
Confidence score. Yeah.
right? So, which is nothing but which tells you that how robust is the model,
Hmm.
right? On a given data set, or on a given math data set, or on a
True.
given dictionary data set, right?
True.
This is how models are proving their strength,
True.
right? But when, and companies, I'm telling you, who are core platform companies and product companies, they are building their own LLM models also. What
Hmm.
they're doing here is, overall, what I've heard also from my community, because a lot of my community belongs to this domain. Okay, that they want to actually check that a certain kind of strange output is not coming out of the model, which
Okay.
will directly proportionate to that something has happened to input also,
Okay.
which means your output is wrong because your in something has happened bad in input. And I have already spoken about poisoning the model. That is
True.
something bad in input,
True.
right? So you need to see. There is an example which, though I wanted to talk about later, but I will talk about right now. That, let's say earlier your model was responding in 5 milliseconds,
Hmm.
but suddenly your model started responding in 5 seconds.
Okay.
That means somebody is manipulating it with a
Makes sense.
deeper
Yeah. Yeah.
Lead to that,
Possible.
right? It's a very
Possible.
simple example, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Or I think people have heard about toxic data being spilled out of models.
Hmm.
I asked about what is the capital of India. It started talking about Mongolia, or it started talking about female versus gender ratio in Haryana,
Hmm.
right? That is input and output validation,
True.
right? So I may not be taking cybersecurity examples here, okay, right? But I am taking very basic principle examples which people can understand, okay,
Makes sense.
right? I will not talk about this point. We have already talked about cleaning the training pipeline,
True.
right?
Hmm.
But I'll take a pause here. Do you have any questions?
No, I got some good insight. So I'm making a points of that about the data monitoring, what you said,
Correct.
and the architecture with the role of NLP. And that's a very good point. And it hit my mind because um, I was working on some pointers, and yeah, this statement make more sense, and it helped me to solve the problem which I am struggling right now. Thanks, Mangbhai. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Mm.
Next question is good question also, and at the same time, I have to be very honest, Prab, and it is true with the traditional IT security world also that every time a new innovation is introduced,
Hmm.
they try to treat the older concept with newer solutions. So,
Okay.
so your access and identity will remain same in the AI world also. Okay.
Hmm.
For example, can you forget about RBAC, role-based access controls? No,
No,
you
we
cannot.
can't.
When cloud came, for example, cloud was also an innovation,
Yeah.
correct? Right? So we had engineers who were spinning up servers or spinning up 100 services in AWS. RBAC was applied.
True.
So what is different in AI system? RBAC has to be applied,
Agree.
right? Now, in traditional IT world, we knew that certain set of data set has to be accessed by a certain set of people. Okay,
True.
right? Similarly, your certain set of data set in LLM model or agentic model has to be accessed only by senior data engineers or data
Yeah.
scientists.
Yeah. True.
Correct? What is
True.
different here? Nothing is different here,
One is
right?
static, one is dynamic.
Correct. One thing which is different here is, which I have noted so far, okay, right? That which is very sensitive also in terms of data is
Hmm.
your core part of data where your model code is the your IP, intellectual property, and your training data weight lies. Okay,
How? How?
I'll explain you.
Okay.
Let's say somebody does a prompt injection, which is a phishing equivalent of traditional IT security world on a LLM model.
Hmm.
Okay, and is able to derive what is your code or what is the weight you have assigned to parameters. They can reverse engineer the system and hack or change your model altogether.
True.
Okay, right?
Possible.
This is where the principle of least privilege will differ, or I'll not say differ. I'll be rather saying will be more strictly implemented. How?
Hmm.
Let's say I'm a senior data scientist. I'm a chief data scientist of a company. Okay, I should have access to the model code and weights, but a junior guy should have access only to the data via API, not directly.
Agree.
And very few people should have access to the raw data.
Hmm.
Okay. So when we are architecting or other CISOs are architecting, they're trying to do the same now. But having said that, if you remember, two of my point comes from the traditional IT security world.
Yes.
Only the third point I have emphasized on is that you need to focus on API security for junior members, that data accessible via API for people who need not have access to the model code
Hmm.
or the parameters.
True.
Otherwise, either the insider will become a big risk or the prompt injection will will give adversary the model code or weights, and they can reverse engineer it. And you don't want any reverse engineering.
Hmm.
And if the reverse engineering happen, supply chain attack can happen. Correct?
True.
Right? So this question I treated very differently. Okay. Right? Any questions?
No, no.
Okay. I've already covered what I wanted to talk,
Yeah.
but I actually want to cover one thing very important here, which is the last point. Okay. Uh, I request organizations globally that auditing and logging is very important from the inception stage in AI world.
That I agree.
Okay. And we have not followed this religiously in IT security world.
Hmm.
We have been given an opportunity when we are building AI system or using AI system per se. If you are integrating only, you are not
Hmm.
building. Please log everything and log properly. I'll give you an example. Okay. Let's say hypothetically, I built a chatbot, and that chatbot is not pre-feeded with questions and answers, which is older chatbots. Now the chatbot are based on LLMs,
True.
right? Behind the scenes, somebody who is building the chatbot or changing the data or the weights is using a service account. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, when an attack happens, which is an insider attack or an outsider attack, let's say it's an insider attack, with service account being used by 5 people, can I attribute the attack?
True.
No.
Possible. No, see, it's all about how the access has been given.
It's very difficult, I'll
Yeah.
say,
Okay.
right? But if I attach it with AD principle, active directory principle, and attach it to user ID, then it
Hmm.
becomes easier for me to find that ML engineer or data curator
Hmm.
who actually changed it.
Okay.
Okay, right? One is do not use the auditing feeds which will make your life difficult in attributing an attack.
True.
Second, start auditing or logging everything from inception stage.
Why? Why only from inception?
It is similar to the principle of that when you do secure development life cycle,
Secure by design.
right? Secure by design, you look at the PRD.
Hmm.
If your PRD does not talk about secured principles,
Hmm.
then your overall model of product will be insecure,
Okay.
right? So if I'm building a logging architecture which report to my SIM of my AI product which
Hmm.
I built internally,
Hmm.
okay, if does not have all the field which I need for attribution later, right? Let's say an incident happen later, God forbid, okay, or I or company would be missing completely not logging also AI world because they are being pressurized by the CEOs and management to build fast and they forget about logging principles. They forget
True.
about that I have to log even.
Hmm.
They forget about even I have to build a logging architecture. I just have to
True.
build it and deliver. And then suddenly security team comes in and say that I want to plug the logging data into SIM, which will
True.
go to core and which will find out anomalies. And
Yeah.
then they come back and
Hmm.
say to us sometimes, oh, I don't have logging architecture or I have a partial logging architecture.
Hmm.
These are the problems which are actually existing right now. Any queries on
No.
this?
No. No.
Okay. You talked about zero trust, which again comes from the older world also. Okay, right? I've already talked about that you have to verify every identity. That's the principle of zero trust. I need not explain. Okay.
Yeah.
Method exists. You have to use the older method. There are no newer methods in ML world. Use OAuth tokens or API keys or certificates, etc. Okay, these methods exist and you have to use the same tokens. Okay,
Sure.
but look at this example. It talks about that an engineer is accessing a model training server. Okay, right? It may have a multi-factor authentication, it may have a RBAC, it may not have, right?
True.
But just assuming that he is an employee and giving him data access without multi-factor authentication and RBAC. Is it good for verification when it comes to zero trust principles? No.
No.
Right? So use this. Again, I'm going back to the same thing, that use the older IT security principles in AI world.
True.
Right? Then micro segmentation. Again, this is a concept of older world. Here, where I differentiated is what do you have to micro segment in the AI world?
Hmm.
Okay, so please understand, you have to segregate your training environment separate. Okay, your storage separate, your models which are serving the data request via API is separate, and where you are hosting your user facing applications.
That should be, yeah. True.
Okay, to answer very specifically, in traditional IT security world, we are following the same principle. I just talked about these four components. These should be separated right now as building blocks in micro segmentation.
True.
Okay. So I think people will understand, okay, this is my training environment, this is my data storage, this is my model serving API environment. They all have to be separate. They need not be in one environment.
Hmm.
Right? Okay. So I'm touching upon the concept briefly in an extent that everybody should get the message right in terms of where to focus on. Okay.
Yep.
Right. Okay. I need not explain this, and
It's a part of continuous. It's already
I've
discussed.
already explained this. If you remember,
Yeah.
if an AI model usually responds in 180 seconds and taking 5 seconds, it could be a DDoS attack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Right. This is a very broad question, Prabh. Okay. AI transparency and explainability. Everybody is exploring this question. Okay. How much you can be transparent about AI models.
Yeah.
Before going to the answers, which I actually jotted down, you go to GPT papers or go
Hmm.
to DeepSeek papers. GPT has not at all talked about their architectures, not at all talked about their datas,
Hmm.
only talked about the mathematics on a very high level, the formula they have used, and they have talked about the billions of parameters on which their models are trained. There are
Hmm.
two reasons for it. One, yeah, intellectual property, that goes without say. Okay, right? The second point is that should I spill up too much that somebody can reverse engineer, right? Now, to break this myth, DeepSeek came out with a model in which they talked about their architecture in from the first model itself. But having said that, they didn't talk about the data set they have used. Okay, so nobody has an answer right now for it, a right answer for it.
Hmm.
The people who are building the core systems also, we are using the system, we are the consumers.
True.
Even the deep seeks and the GPTs of the world are not hiding. They have their own reasons why not to be transparent, why not to spill details about the data set on which it is trained.
Hmm.
But if you want to answer this question, I'll take an example here. Okay. Let's say you applied for a loan in a bank. Okay. And a chatbot is talking to you, which is LLM based.
Okay.
Right? Your chatbot gives you this answer. Are you okay with this answer? And as a security guy, are you okay with this answer? I will say yes. Why? This answer does not spill details about architecture and dataset,
Hmm.
neither about data threshold values or exact algorithm used. Okay, so so the crux here is, which I have actually mentioned in the headline. You need not give the blueprints away in your
True.
transparency. Okay, you should give the outcomes only.
True.
The user doesn't want to know how much weightage you have to apply it to calculate the formula that you have declined him the loan, right? Or the user can be an adversary also trying to find out. So similarly,
But one
here,
one important thing is that when it we just need to rely on the data pointers, which is basically shared by the third party or the developers. So as you said, again we come back to the same thing, is about how we manage the security in that case? Do like when we go for third party AI and all that, we need to rely on the contracts? Because by end of the day, you don't have a maximum control there. So third party role play come into the picture in that case, right?
Yeah. So again, I think you have asked this question separately. Okay, right? Third parties are nothing but supply chains.
Hmm.
Correct, right? And everybody understands supply chain in IT world and security world. There are few checks which you can do from earlier principles, like do they have these kind of certifications
True.
to an ISO 27001. Okay, I will not explain this. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but where you have to get granular, and this is where I've given examples. Are you using a cloud API for document analysis? Where do they store your data? Are they isolating? As I explained, the micro segmentation, but here the micro segmentation is that are they isolating your data from other customers? Okay.
Hmm.
You have to actually ask, are they doing red teaming on their LLM models?
Hmm.
We are asking these questions. CISOs organizations are asking this question. They are not asking question that are you doing red teaming on servers and databases and apps? Okay. Are you doing red teaming or penetration code or code test, or have you plugged in a CI/CD security check pipeline, which is checking security issues like prompt injection in your code?
Hmm.
Okay, we should include that in the questionnaire when you vet your vendors through either a manual process, or maybe you are using a GRC tool in which your questionnaire is uploaded and answering to your question. Okay, and also these days, just to share with the audience, uh, uh, if you have matured vendors and they have data source truth,
Hmm.
which can be integrated with via API to your product. Okay, so there are products which are existing in market which are doing third party risk assessment with those data sources,
Hmm.
okay, and giving you the results without, though the questionnaire is also shared to which they respond, but they also test the systems. But
Hmm.
in India, primarily I have seen, not talking about the matured markets from Europe and US, where they have the data sources which are API based and I can scan them. Right here, we are following the questionnaire model, but you have to ask the right questions, which I have highlighted.
That
Okay.
that's the reason I basically as
Yeah.
is the role of third party management will basically become more higher or more important in that case.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Hmm.
Correct. One thing I want to touch upon is this. These two topics very important.
Hmm.
I think that the last point I have already touched upon earlier. I remember
Hmm.
is, are you monitoring the third party outputs and usage? For example, let's say I have internally hosted, not hosted, I'm using the SaaS version of ChatGPT or using DeepSeek, etc. in my organization. I've allowed it.
Hmm.
Okay. You can use DLP to track it, how much data is getting uploaded and what kind of data is getting uploaded on ChatGPT and DeepSeek. Organizations are already doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, or my engineers are directly uploading it, sourcing data from these models, or they're using the API keys. Okay, if they're using the API keys, I have to focus on API security more, so that my keys are not stolen. If they are stolen, then my data goes for a toss.
Hmm.
And ask these questions to third parties also. Okay, right? Again, it will result in manipulating the service or attacker reverse engineering it. Now, if you remember, sorry, I have to iterate again. If you remember, I talked about n minus version of the model.
Yeah.
Say an attack has happened. Can you switch? Okay. You should have an n minus one pipeline or
Hmm.
n minus one model to continue your service till that time you rectify the problem in the hacked system,
Okay.
which is nothing but having a plan B.
True.
Right? I have to simply explain this is BCPDR.
Hmm. So continuity. Yeah.
Right? Correct. So I'm simply putting it. Okay. we tend to so my messaging here is we tend to overcomplicate also when an innovation comes, and this happened in cloud time also. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
right? Then I think in how this is very interesting. This problem I am also exploring how incident response will change.
Yeah.
Okay, uh, incident response is not going to change if you follow the older principles. Okay, right? First, you should isolate your hacked model from your live processes.
Hmm.
Okay, you should completely take it offline. If required, if push comes to shove, go on manual processes. If the breach is too big,
Okay.
millions of records are stolen. Okay, or you're not sure. Maybe your complete model is reverse engineered,
Hmm.
right? Go back to your older model and continue service, or follow the manual process of replying to queries using your customer experience team,
Okay.
right? This is a very crude example, right? And then investigate who did what. Sorry, I'm blaming an intern here. It could be a senior security engineer, senior developer also. Okay, maybe he uploaded a new data set which had. So, for example, Prab, I'll not actually name data set repositories, but there are a lot of data set repositories on which malicious data set is residing.
Hmm.
Okay, and to ship the app basis the LLM and agentic world,
Yeah.
developers are in pressure.
True.
To train their models, need data sets. They don't have data sets.
Hmm.
Okay? If they don't have data sets, they download data sets from XYZ websites.
Yeah.
When they download from XYZ website, they are some are malicious data sets that they are not aware. Not everybody checks the sanity in the data sets,
I agree.
right? Okay. Have you vetted before? Maybe it is introducing a backdoor into your model.
Hmm.
And that means in your incident response, when you have switched to manual process or you have switched to N minus version of your pipeline, right? Or your earlier model, your business continues, you investigate. Okay. Right? The
Yeah.
investigation could be based on that. It could be an outsider who has come in, or it's an insider job, or it could be inadvertently or by mistake somebody has done it. Not
Okay.
everybody is doing it with purpose,
Okay.
right? Right now, for example, if I am a fresher, I'm not aware about to go to this ABCDE website and it has a poison data which I have downloaded and uploaded in my engine to train it, right? So I have not done this or introduced a backdoor on purpose, correct? But
Yeah.
there we check investigation now here to check for malicious data sets and also to check for logs, data version histories, and access records also. Again,
Hmm.
this I will mention from classic IT. Okay,
Hmm.
same thing, right? Then again, I need not say you have to eradicate completely. You have to clean your model, clean your data set, and find out where the problem lies in the code. Okay, which is the malicious data set uploaded, or I have to build my data set from scratch again and build the N version right now, which is running on N minus version again from scratch. That can happen if your compromise is big, right? And before making it live, please validate again. How
Hmm.
can you validate? You can look at confidence. Is it giving the right output which I want or not? Ask, do the adversarial training of that data set again so that the output is confident enough and then you can put it in prod. Okay,
Okay.
right, right. And then the feedback loop. I call this as a feedback loop. Okay, right. That what you have learned, if it will happen again, you apply again in the system. Okay. right? Here I don't have an example, but this sums up with this. You need this
Hmm.
in AI world also. Okay, and this is very new, so we can do it. We can build a feedback loop. This A incident happened. Uh, the data set was poisoned. Why the data set was poisoned? Because it was downloaded from a malicious website which was non trusted. So next time I will block. I have blocked this website from where the developer cannot download the dataset altogether. So I
Hmm.
completely went on block mode when it comes to malicious dataset downloading. So that's a future prevention strategy,
Hmm.
right? That's a real life example which is being
True.
implemented. I've seen it.
True.
Okay, right? Any questions?
No. No.
Okay, now I think use very important for the GRC domain experts that first question which you earlier asked also, do we have security acts on AI or not? Yes, we
Yeah.
have.
Okay.
And or do we have standards on them or not?
Hmm.
But please understand, they are evolving. Okay, they are not definitive answer to your problems.
Hmm.
EU AI Act not talks about security there because they are finicky about transparency and privacy also. Okay, right? NIST AI RMF framework is something that is a risk management framework you can follow, but my challenge with AI RMF framework of NIST is too high level.
Okay.
It's not talking about system level checks. Okay. For example, if I have to follow uh, a framework for any organization I work for, I will combine a system framework with NIST. I'll give
True.
you an example. Sorry, I have to take a name here. I love their model also. There's a company called Databricks,
Okay. Yeah. I watch their content. It's really great.
right? They have released an operational control model for AI governance and compliance, which you can map to NIST high level principles
Yeah.
and get it followed by your ML team, your data science team, your LLM team, your agentic team. I have not talked about them in this in the answers.
Hmm.
Okay, right? Now I'll talk about which is very basic. Uh, we have to build a inventory of the models you are using, of the data sets you are using. Very important, right? Okay. We have to have a separate compliance committees and governance for AI now. And
Okay.
organizations are doing it. It cannot because it needs and yes, you have to do DPIA again for AI from a different perspective altogether. Okay, data protection impact assessment,
Hmm.
which we had been doing because of GDPR, and now we'll be doing because of DPDP, right? Right, and then this is very important.
Human oversight. Definitely. Yeah. Last line of defense and security also people.
Correct,
Yeah.
right? For example, if you remember, again, I'm correlating with some the output that I explained you earlier that you were denied a loan by a chatbot which is based on LLM.
Hmm.
Is there a human checking the answer?
Hmm.
It can be applied to security world also.
True. That's possible.
Let's say you automate a job of a L1 SOC analyst
Hmm.
and it resolves an incident, right? Can that incident flow can come to a human before the patch really gets applied,
Hmm.
right? You can't trust right now. The systems are not that mature that you can even patch L1 SOC analyst patching resolutions with 100% confidence,
True.
right? So that's the example from SOC world. I right now not confident even to automate or give L1 SOC analyst operation to a capability completely. I want to have a human in the loop.
Hmm. And
right?
and it's very important, because basic tries can be done by the AI, but the new aspects need to be added. You need people to be involved there.
Correct, correct.
Hmm.
Now comes a very difficult question for us, right? Okay. The difficult question is every week something happens. Future outlook of 3 5 years is very difficult to predict.
Yeah, the reason of asking this question is the things
Yeah,
are very dynamic in nature, and
correct.
how we are seeing this perspective, that's something we need to understand here.
I'll actually say AI is this black
Hmm.
box. You never know what will drop. You know today what get dropped. I was
True.
reading about it. There is a deep research model, unified deep research model dropped by NVIDIA.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm still reading it. It's a very long paper. Okay. They say that you don't have to retrain your data and you don't have to train your data at all.
Hmm.
Okay. Once you have trained it, use NLP, though that was also uh, presented by GPT or OpenAI in zero shot learnings. This is a terminology from machine learning world or
True.
deep learning. Okay, zero shot learning is I don't train my model. I just
Hmm.
queries of users, and basis the query, the answers get refined. I have reached to the stage that I need not train my model. But
Hmm.
but they have mentioned now on billions of parameters, which goes beyond 200 and 300 billion. You need not train your models. That's
Hmm.
deep research. What they are terming it as, right? So my contention here is, and my dilemma lies here is, it's very difficult to predict. Okay,
Hmm.
what I will say is that uh, please right now apply basic IT security principles, and I have already pointed out the differentiation where lies when it comes to AI security architecture. Okay, right? Start looking at what the authorities are publishing in acts, in frameworks, because NIST is not a regulatory authority, just to clarify,
Hmm.
or in standards, right? Start plugging them in the system from inception so that you don't have to future proof. So I have a very different take on it.
Okay.
It relates to if your fundamentals are okay, you're future proofing your system,
Hmm.
right? I cannot predict, Prab. I will be very honest to you,
True.
right? Right. So this I wrote and I was explaining to my wife also. Think of two companies in 5 years,
And we have
right?
seen that, that the company who did great before COVID, they're
Correct.
nowhere.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
as the technology is revolved around, AI and all that, and companies are adopting, we can see, the company which did great year back, they are
Correct.
nowhere today.
Yeah. Right. Right. For example, if the company fundamentals were so good that they trained their engine on transparency and security and fairness, versus the company who scrambled and their
Hmm.
engine broke, they didn't apply the fundamental principles for future proofing. The fundamentals are nothing but I've already explained: auditability, uh, having attribution, securing your data sets. Why not apply the same principle of security development life cycle of CI/CD pipeline on data pipelines or machine learnings,
True.
right? And also have modular architectures rather than having rigid systems.
True.
Okay, right? So overall, this is a very difficult question to answer, and I don't have, and I'll be very honest here. If somebody can answer this, I think maybe the ML engineers who are building the systems, and they
Hmm.
also don't know what they're building. For example, if super intelligence comes later, AGI is later. Right now, everybody is attempting super intelligence.
Hmm.
Okay. AGI may not come in next 5 years. I don't know. What's happening in the labs, nobody can predict, right? Right. But having said that, keep your principles intact,
Hmm.
right? And please understand, which as I explained, where the AI security architecture difference lies.
Oh, that's
What
true.
what new you have to protect, but very difficult to predict future outlook.
True.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
and 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 that's a reason, when it comes to the integration part and all that, that is very important if you start as early as possible.
Correct.
And if not, then uh, you know, it's basically can backfire. And it's really a eye opener session for me, at least, to get the insight about the components of AI. But my I want to ask you one important thing. If I talk about building block of AI architecture,
Mhm.
what do you think? What are the building block of AI architecture?
Okay. So let's do the whiteboarding. Okay.
Hmm.
Every AI has infra,
Hmm.
which is nothing but your GPUs.
Hmm.
The gaming world people will be aware of it.
Hmm. Hmm.
What has happened is gaming. What has happened is our compute power has increased.
Hmm.
That's the threshold we have crossed, and that is why we are able to build the models.
Hmm.
Okay, right? Similarly, uh, your code, which is based on programming, mathematics, maths, I'll say, okay, or I'm saying this probability,
Hmm.
okay, right, etc., or I'll say stats, etc., has to be secured. Okay, this is nothing but if you remember, these are data models.
True.
Okay, right? Then uh, your infra is secured, your code is secured, then your perimeter has to be secured, right? What is different in perimeter here? Uh, I, I hardly see a difference. It's a
Hmm.
target which is coming going, which is ingress egress, which will remain the same, right? Right. It's just the model of delivering the business has changed, okay, or it has become fast,
True.
right? And lastly, if I have to think, what are the building blocks, and I actually write here basic building blocks is my data is the highest crown gel. That's the summary I want to leave away with,
Okay.
which consists of, you have to be very specific, pre-training and post-training, and even it is production live, right? You have to
Hmm.
always check for anomalies, right?
Hmm.
You cannot leave the system thinking that once it is production live, it is safe, right? So here monitoring will help, correct? Will help. Here RBAC will help. Here applying SD, applying SDLC principles on pipelines will help, right? And also one more thing, I am just trying to scribble now. Okay, understanding the newer attacks, which is different from earlier attacks,
True.
right? Now, why this is different? This AI tool or AI world is available to you to build systems. AI world is also available to hackers.
Hmm.
Now, your phishing mail will be perfect, right? There'll be no spelling mistakes, correct?
Hmm.
Right? They have the compute power of GPUs now, not CPUs put together, right? So your DDoS attacks, volumetric wise, you can't even predict. I don't want to
Agree.
predict. I
Agree.
don't know. Hmm? You can't even predict at all as of now. Uh, okay. Similarly, what malwares they will build with AI,
Hmm.
right? You don't know. You don't know. I've seen one attack with a new malware attack, malware developed by AI, and there was a company. I will not name that company. Their EDR or their SIM was not able to detect anomalies.
Possible because yeah. So I think now from the solutions perspective also we can see that now they're also coming with the AI based solution which can detect based on ML and all that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think if I have to scribble, because sometimes I get into the shoes of architect also,
Hmm.
these are the basic building blocks.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And what out of following, what do you think? What is the most important thing to manage?
P0,
Hmm.
P1. This
Okay.
is still P2. This is still P2.
Hmm.
Okay. Anything left? Uh, Nothing is left.
But
This again subjected to my understanding of what's happening.
that's really massive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So if I want to summarize, a step by step, no, we don't need to document, but if company has given us task, I want to build a AI architecture for an organization, including security function. What is the step by step process? We understood these are the components we have, these are the process we have, these are the things which we need to have. If I want to summarize in 5 minutes.
Okay. I mean, I don't have a silver bullet for it.
Yeah, high
Okay.
level. Yeah.
Make an inventory of your AI systems. Now, this includes the LLMs, the agentic agents you are using. Maybe you are only the consumer, you are not building.
Hmm.
Okay, right? Because B2B businesses, business companies are also consumers. Okay, agents you're using, data sets you're using, you are using, and infra on which it is hosted. Okay,
Great.
and your apps. What are you building basically? Correct.
Okay.
Ultimately, everything is mostly delivered by apps in most of the businesses.
Okay.
Right. Correct. Right. Second thing is secure your parameter, which I mentioned earlier also. Okay. Step by step. Okay. Right. Uh, Partially go in block mode if you're not sure. For example, you may block a ABC website or set of websites from where malicious data sets can be downloaded, which is again which can be vulnerable for you.
Hmm.
Okay. You may block. It's again depends on organization to organization. You may block certain models basis the geopolitical conditions, right? Certain LLM models which you think cannot be trusted. Okay, and things will mature with time. Okay, right? Then once you made an inventory security parameter, then I think very important. I will not iterate again. This you have to protect.
Okay.
Data protection. I'll just mention here. Your point is already recorded above. Okay, and data protection I have segregated actually
Hmm.
in three components. Okay, and why this? Right? I can actually copy this so that there's a continuity of conversation, right? And parallelly, You don't have to do this later. Is
Okay.
is is doing this,
Okay. So make an
right?
inventory, secure a parameter partially in block mode, data protection, and that's how. And then
And
this is.
okay, one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Apply. Start applying basic frameworks which are by EU, NIST, or maybe there are data capability providers which are providing good frameworks. And please be very specific on framework which are being applied, that they give you system level checks, not high level principles.
Mm-hmm.
You need system level checks. Okay, right? I think if you do this and do not try to retrofit so many solutions which are available in the market, which everybody is claiming that I have an agentic SOC, I have observability solution,
Mm-hmm.
I can do AI SPM for you, right? Okay. All these principles will make sure that some solution is fitting to these principles,
Understood.
right? So build your framework. I think this is step by step framework, very crude level. Build your framework and then you map your capabilities and start using it,
Okay.
right? That's my take on it.
Because the reason of asking this question is basically, I need those insights about how
Correct.
this step work, and that's the reason I asked this question. And thanks for,
No problem.
even we have done for 1 hour 30 minutes session. How the time run. I could not able to see that, and it was really a informative one. And the best part about the podcast was, I was able to correlate all this topic in a more easy manner, and I'm sure the
Yeah,
people who are watching this podcast will definitely go with some great insight, Mike. Bhai.
sure. Thank you so much for this opportunity. What if we spoke? I actually was scribbling on the
Hmm.
document.
Hmm.
Okay, I'll share the document with you. How you incorporate this into the overall.
Definitely, I will add in attachment and share as a URL
Yeah, correct. So
that I can share.
this is shared with you. This is
Yeah,
from my personal email ID. So I actually noted down one because I type. I'm an oldie, so I type. I am still not into AI world that I have to go to Chat GPT for everything, right? I have noted down basic building blocks and the step by step architecture for AI system which you spoke of.
that's great. And I think when you talking about the statements and all that, you're already sharing the screen, so it's already captured that. And moreover, I will share the URL of the document in the insight from there also.
Correct, correct, correct. So
But
yeah,
but this is really a eye opener session for me at least. I got a lot of insights, and I'm going to work on this content a lot, and it will really help me in my consulting services also, which give me a great insight, Mangbhai.
yeah, no problem. And I'm open to future sessions if you require. I think this is what where I am trying to pivot also.
Uh,
And I want to work in this field for next 5 to 7 years. This is the future.
that's great. We can have a next podcast. I can see you doing a lot of things on scripting, coding, and all that. We
Correct,
can
correct.
discuss about myth and bust about vibe coding. What do you say?
Oh, absolutely. I love it. I am working with my team. They boast about vibe coding, and I say, okay, open the code. When they open the code, I'll just give you one line for it. It's a joke floating around my team that Mayank will ask you to open the code and ask you to explain the function.
Hmm.
And once you cannot explain the function, he will say, right, go back to the code and then understand the code and come back to me because
So
you are
we need to discuss about that. Then definitely.
writing an insecure code. There is a probability,
Uh,
right? I am open to that session. I love that session.
So we can plan the session. Those are very excited for this, do let us know in comment box, and definitely we're going to discuss about the role of AI governance in vibe coding, or the security review in a vibe coding. So
Sure.
I think that can be great insight there we can cover.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
thanks, Mangbai, and thank you for this particular session. And we looking forward for more session in future from your side.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabh. Good night. Take
Good
care.
night. This is all from our side, team. And if you're new to the channel, do subscribe to channel and click on the bell icon to make sure you should not miss the future videos on a similar topic. Good day. Bye. Thanks, Ma'am, guy. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I echo that. Thank you.